Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Marcy, can I have a roll call, please?
Sure, Brian.
Here.
Lexi. Here. Justin.
Here.
John.
Here.
You're just missing Jeff tonight.
Before we approve the agenda, I would ask that we remove item 3, water and sewer rates. If we do not have the information from Northland to discuss this, as well as remove in administration item D, the resolution setting a public hearing for the sewer rate. And if I could just get a verbal yay or nay from everyone. Yes.
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 Yes. All right. Thank you. Then I will need a motion to approve with those changes noted.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the noted changes.
I'll second. Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
Done. Motion carries. At this time, I'll open up for citizen comment on anything on the agenda that is not part of a public hearing. If anyone would like to approach the council. First, we got anybody online?
I do not. And just a reminder, we probably won't have a public comment at the end of the meeting just because we'll be in a closed session.
Yes, thank you. Great reminder. Yep. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and close citizen comment at this time. I'll need a motion to approve the consent agenda if there are no questions on said agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. I'll second. Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
Motion carries. Next up, then we will have Parks and Recreation. Stacy.
Yeah, I guess do you guys have any questions on my report? Nice reports.
You did contact the Corey about doing the.
Yes,
spider
they
tracks?
are. Yep, I signed it. I actually had them send over a new, I guess, contract, which is the first initial one had a couple different options on it.
Okay.
So with the first one to approve that one, sent it in. So we're on their list. I don't know ETA.
I guess that was,
they've usually-
you knew my next question.
Usually been pretty good about getting out here. So
Okay, perfect. Appreciate you taking care of that. Sarah, what was that for? Was it
The
spider cracks, the leak still on the west side? Thank you.
I think the idea to do the fun run, kids fun run.
Yeah.
The Peosta Days in Cali Oaks Park is a
Yeah.
great way to draw people into the park.
it's kind of the thought. We're gonna pair it with the scavenger hunt to hopefully hit even more people, maybe younger kids, families, whatever. And yeah, and the thought, we haven't got like a ton of people for the 5K. Don't have to waste, not that I wasted PD's time, fire department's time, but I think this will be advantageous and hopefully get more people involved.
No, I like that a lot too. Do you have any other questions for Stacy? Stacy? Moving on to police. Chief Coleman.
Before we go there, yeah, I was gonna say,
Kelly Oaks Park.
Kelly Oaks is right below that.
Yes, she doesn't usually have more than Kelly Oaks.
We did obviously talk in the work session. You guys had asked me, or those of you that were here had asked me to go back and ask our architect some questions. I did send it to all of you as far as his reply. I didn't know if you guys had any questions on that. I think Dean also has a path forward you would like to take. I don't know if you wanna
Yeah, sure.
jump in.
I guess first of all, if anybody has their opinion on it, I mean, open up to it, but otherwise, my recommendation, I guess, would be to, rather than combining the entire project as one, to piece it out, put the parking lot along with the trail as a separate item. Bid that out. We can probably put that out for bid possibly by late November or something like that. Would be ample time to still get construction done next year, midsummer, mid to late summer, I guess, should say. My thoughts behind that, more than likely, framing contractor is probably gonna be a general on it. We don't necessarily need to be paying a markup for a general contractor to necessarily take charge of the parking lot, the asphalt part of it, the concrete part of it, nor the trail portion of it with
We can
along
do
with
that.
dirt and what may be. I mean, when we can, you know, provide those services. So I talked to Jake with MSA, their bidding process would probably entail about, he thought anywhere from $4,500 to $5,000. That being said, that's by far cheaper than what the markup. If, you know, I'm using 10%. I foresee any general contractor to use that 10%, if not more, as a number to general a project. So by far, that $5,000, $4,500 to $5,000 is by far cheaper than what any general contractor is gonna be absorbing from the project.
Trying to remember what the piece of the parking lot and the projected trail were. In my mind, the priority would be to make sure we get a trail down there so people can get to the park, which would, so pavilion, trail, and parking lot. So I guess my question is, should we bid the parking lot and the trail together, or will we get to a point where we don't quite have enough funding? So we want to do the trail to the park and we defer the parking lot for another year.
And there again, we can bid the parking lot, bid the trail, however it may be, use one or the other for an addendum. And make that decision at that time, but still bid them separately.
Like that,
I like that.
get the whole ball.
If we feel that money's gonna be an issue, but at least, I mean, not saying that it's not, but I mean.
Right.
Yeah,
Obviously, then we can pick and choose, you know, what we feel the priority is, I guess.
yeah.
Some may feel that the parking lot's more of a priority than the trail. I mean, vice versa. It's gonna be,
Right.
you know, it's obviously gonna be a toss up, and that might be a matter of what the dollars come in at.
Yep.
You know, on the trail versus the parking lot.
Yep.
So,
We'll have to put
Sounds
that
like a good
handicap
plan.
space. in
Yeah, we have
with
to
the
pour,
building.
that's right.
but that would be only if the pavilion's out for hire or out for rent. We would have to provide that as long as the one or the other is gonna go hand in hand with the pavilion. We don't necessarily have to construct that until it's open for business per se. I don't feel we should have to provide that. We don't provide it now for you know, for the park, we don't provide it for the fire station. You know, pavilion.
But if we're gonna wait a year to do the parking lot.
And that's something we have to discuss, you know, how far it's gonna get pushed out.
We'd probably just have to have the pavilion contractor build that piece. Or the rest of the parking lot later.
Yeah.
Cause I can't imagine not having the pavilion and not having it ready for the public to use.
Oh,
For us to
great.
rent
The
it and
second-
whatnot, so
We can.
in my mind, if we have to have that by law, then it has to go with the pavilion.
They could pour that concrete though, right? I mean,
Yeah,
with the
piece.
pavilion,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it was,
Just that
just one
piece,
spot.
one spot up by the front.
I think we seriously need to be concerned though, if we don't do the parking lot, the fact that, you know, if it is a pavilion, that's gonna be out for services, out for rent. You know, the concern of mud and whatnot,
Yeah,
that's gonna be tracked inside. You know, as far as cleanup and those type of messes that we have to be concerned of as well, so.
I like your,
Accessibility too would be something I'd be concerned about.
I like your proposal that basically the city absorbs the GC responsibility on the parking lot and the trail. That makes a lot of sense to me. Including it in that bigger fee.
We need to make a recommendation to move forward.
I would say yes, I would like a verbal vote to give him permission to move forward.
We'll make a recommendation to move forward with the trail and the parking lot, getting the separate bids.
And the pavilion bid separately.
I'll second.
Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
Jen, I.
Good.
It's good.
Thanks, Dean.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Stacy. Appreciate all the hard work.
Let's do this.
Like she's not even here. Come on.
I said thanks.
Yeah. All right, now we will move on to police and chief.
Yeah, you guys have my report. The only addition I would have is the Humane Society contacted us and recommending a new contract with them. The last one we're kind of guessing is 23-24 season. So they just been going off of that. So we're gonna update that contract. So hopefully that'll be to you by next council meeting for that new contract.
I did reach out to your contact and ask them if they would be open to a 3-year contract.
Yep.
I've not heard back yet.
I haven't heard back either. I got that.
Okay.
But that'll be coming to you. Other than that,
Are you expecting any big changes?
no, I know. I think the prices might change by $5 or $10 maybe, but they should be right in line with what they are currently. Yeah. We don't use it a lot just because we have our own system of how we get dogs.
Yeah, you had mentioned. in
Yeah,
our-
we do a pretty good
process.
job on that. So it's kind of an as needed basis.
Other questions for Chief Coleman? Thanks, Chief. Move on to Public Works and Dean, you're back on.
Sure. Any questions? I can start off on any of the items.
We seeing continued challenges with the beaver dams, or once you got it cleared up this time, do we think we're ahead of it?
At this point right now, I feel we have it under control, but I think it'll be short-lived.
How often do you have to clear those out?
Well, so far, this summer, spring, I would say we probably did it 3 to 4 times in the time that we were over there. Yeah, I mean, it just finally got to the point where we had to pull out and get other things done. I mean, we got dedicate all our time over there. You know, and there was a concern, I guess, with, you know, the trees,
Right.
being all pulled down. So, shy of, you know, clearing them all out of there, you know, for a management plan. As far as the long-term solution, you know, controlling the beaver is gonna be pretty tough to do.
We're only taking the trees out on the south side.
Yeah, we only removed
Right.
everything on the south.
So there's still the visual break with the neighborhood and stuff
Yes,
to the
absolutely.
north side.
Is there any assistance the DNR provides, or it's just up to
They
us?
trap them.
I wouldn't necessarily say, I mean, there are some people that do trap them. I would like to reach out to them. I guess right now, my concerns would be with the people that walk down there with the trap set, so I was kind of leaning more toward fall and winter to possibly get somebody in there to try to manage and control that.
Trap them and relocate them.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
I'll leave it at trapping. I'll let handle it.
Well said, sir, well said. All right, thanks, Dean.
Outside of any of that, just follow up on the concerns of the curb and gutter down on Adrena Drive. Just east of the box culvert there, I did reach out to the contractor. They said, yes, they're willing to come back. They will definitely come back, remove that section, whatever it takes to get out of there and replace that as needed. So,
Okay.
yeah. I guess just one other topic I'm gonna keep very short. Annette attended a pre-con meeting today on the construction that's gonna take place north of town. Supposedly they're gonna start already next Monday. Short notice.
Should have seen the look on everybody's face there.
That's as much information as I have.
There has been multiple emails flying back and forth about not giving us proper notification through V&K. V&K, Steve and Eric Gold from V&K are working with Russell Weber at Dubuque County to get the dates straightened out so that we can have somebody there to do the inspections, to make sure that the changes that Dean wants in place are gonna happen. So I'm just as surprised as you are. You don't normally go to a pre-con meeting knowing that you're gonna start in 5 days. It's usually a couple weeks, maybe a month and a half. So I'll give you more information in my weekly summary. Cause like I said, there's still emails coming in and out. And I'll do the best that I can to keep you updated.
Okay.
Surprise. And I will have a notice from DOT or from Dubuque County that I will put out on Facebook to let everybody know about traffic. Okay,
Detour?
yes. Well, there will be a detour. There'll probably be a pilot car.
Flagman.
If I-
Right,
whole-
yeah.
on whole
I
highway.
don't anticipate both of them being closed down at the same time. So that's the good part of it. As the bad part is it's 5 days from now.
You have anything from Steve for the?
I do not.
Okay. You have anything from the mayor for?
I do not.
All right, then we'll just keep moving on. At this time, I will need a motion to open public hearings for chapter 72 recreational vehicles. This is concerning having golf carts on the streets, so.
Make a motion to open the public hearing for Title VII Traffic Code, Chapter 72 recreational vehicles. Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
Motion carries. We now have the public hearing open. If anyone would like to address the council regarding this topic. Please give your name and address, please.
Sir, Jeremy Diaz, 458 Leslie Drive, Unit 7.
Thank you.
So I've lived in Peosta for 3 years, and before Peosta, I lived in Yuma, Arizona. And before Yuma, Arizona, I lived in St. Mary's, Georgia. And Yuma and St. Mary's were both places that were what I would consider smaller communities, but their populations were much larger than Peosta. And golf carts were a regular occurrence, particularly in the neighborhoods where we lived. And because of my relationship with council member Schatz, I learned that golf carts are not permitted so far in Peosta. And I thought I'd come make an argument to state why it'd be good. We live in a super family-friendly community. One of the things I love about Peosta is in the summer, I go outside my front door and I see packs of kids riding around the streets on their bikes. And I think a golf cart is a lot less scary for a kid than an ATV or a car coming on the street. There's precedent in other parts of Iowa, Bondurant, which is larger than Peosta, and then even larger cities like Marion and North Liberty have allowances for golf carts. I would probably suggest making a statute similar to North Liberty or Marion, which allow sunrise to sunset for licensed drivers. And they have to have a safety sign similar to like the Amish have on their buggies. So they obey all traffic laws. And then they're not permitted on any streets where the speed limit is higher than 35 miles per hour. And we're developing really fast in this community. And I think having things like the Kelly Oaks Park, making it easier for a mom with kids instead of having to load into her car. Maybe she can put a couple kids on the golf cart, just casually stroll through the neighborhood, get to the park. I think it would be a nice addition to the community, getting down here to the ball fields instead of searching for parking. It makes us more welcoming to the out-of-town guests. It leaves up the parking spaces for them. We can have multiple golf carts in one spot and free up some space. And so I trust your guys' decision. I just thought I would come and state my case. And everywhere I've lived that has had golf carts, safety has not been an issue. And the times it has been, it's been because other laws have been broken, particularly consumption of alcohol in the operation of the golf carts. And so as long as those things are held under control, and we have a great police force here in Peosta that does a good job of keeping those. I think the safety issue takes care of itself. It's a lot safer for a kid to avoid a golf cart that's going 15 miles an hour than an ATV that's going 35 miles an hour. So my work is almost all with young people. So I kind of keep them and their families in mind when I state my case about things. So I'll yield my time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Anyone online, Marcy?
Yep.
Okay. Looks like nobody else going to speak tonight about this, so I need a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion, close the public hearing.
I'll second the motion. Brian, aye.
Lexi, aye.
Justin, I.
John, I.
Motion carries. Next up is first reading as far as the ordinance amending the traffic prohibiting golf carts on the city streets of Peosta. Motion to approve the first reading.
I just want to make sure this is a ordinance saying that prohibits golf carts, correct?
Correct.
Yes,
So a yes
that is
vote,
correct.
the yes vote is to prohibit.
Yes.
Correct.
Chief, can you just help us again? There's communities around us that have golf carts
That's correct.
allowed, on non-major roads, similar to what we would do here.
Correct.
What is it that you've learned from Dyersville and communities like that?
So Dyersville doesn't have golf carts permitted. Farley Network, talked to the chiefs over there. Their biggest concerns were families putting, say grandma and grandpa putting kids on the golf carts and just taking them around town for a stroll, but there'd be like 6 or 7 kids on the golf cart, making that unsafe. The other things were alcohol, as in, open containers on the golf carts, and driving intoxicated on the golf carts on the streets. Some of it was they didn't have the equipment, the correct equipment on the carts, and the registration was an issue. Per those departments saying that it just took more manpower to do registrations, but they figured it out, they got it down, I guess. But those are the biggest concerns, I guess.
I think my problem is with these is with children on these. I was driving through Birds Green Acres 2 weeks ago. Literally saw mom, son, 2 kids where the golf cart or the golf bags go, but they had them strapped in.
For safety.
For safety. So that's the concern I have is stuff like that.
Right. Or underage drivers, kids driving the golf carts. That was another concern that they've had in most communities also.
Peosta has such heavy industrial traffic too, and that's not gonna slow down. Our industrial is just gonna keep growing. They just don't have the safety features to protect them in poor situations. I hope never happen, but.
Yeah, they don't have seatbelts and things like that.
Mr. Diaz, just a question like when you were in Yuma and I don't remember the other community, but did they have lanes for the golf carts or they were just in general traffic?
So they were in general traffic. I would say downtown St. Mary's, the speed limits are similar to what they are around Peosta, 20 miles an hour. And they made a change because of the issues that the chief was talking about, that you had to be a licensed driver to operate the golf cart. And the other larger cities in Iowa, Marion, North Liberty in particular, those are the regulations there. I think North Liberty is you have to be 18 and up.
I
So
believe that's what the R in Farley Upworth also is 18 and
Yeah.
older.
yeah, so
What you have to be in Iowa, I think, to be a fully licensed driver now.
yeah. And then we do have construction traffic, obviously, but those would be on the roads that golf carts wouldn't be allowed, like Cox Springs, Peosta Street, Thunder Hills.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to your thought of going to the park.
Yeah,
Pack Springs is how you get to Kelly Oaks. So I mean, I'm just,
Other town,
yeah, just from one part of town to another.
you can take a mark. Just to it, just to court.
That's true.
What if you lived on the other side of the?
Well, technically not, because you can't get from from.
Yeah.
We didn't say anything about birds yet.
Birds would be,
You can't get anything from birds too. You can't get on birds, right?
We didn't, that wasn't,
no, that wasn't brought
wasn't
up.
one of the roads that were brought up.
Either, I appreciate that, thank you.
yeah.
No, I just, yeah,
That would
I'm
be one of
I'm definitely,
my concerns. Right.
have enough concern that I think this is something that we should enact, so. Any other questions?
I'll just make a couple of comments. I was surprised, Lauren, that cities like North Liberty and Marion have it. It'd be interesting to know what their experience is. Having said that, like golf carts are open vehicles and we don't have very good north-south, ways to get in between neighborhoods. So at most it would almost be you're relegated to your own neighborhood because it's very hard to get out. So I don't know. I lean toward being a libertarian and not being paternalistic to people and letting them do what they need to do. It just concerns me a little bit when we create a safety hazard for other people because of how somebody makes a decision on what they're gonna do. So I appreciate the chief's comments and things too about the safety concern. I was just surprised that we hadn't dealt with it back in the ATVs.
I think we thought we did.
Yeah, that was my thought too.
I thought I did.
And I know this is dredging up like past discussion, but ATVs includes four-wheelers.
Right.
And we allow four-wheel open cycle vehicles on our streets. I see them from time to time. I see more of the closed UTV kind of model.
Right.
But, and I guess a four-wheel motor vehicle is similar to a motorcycle, so you're starting to split hairs on what's possible.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the first reading.
I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance amending the City of Peosta Code of Ordinance titled Title 7 Traffic Code, Chapter 72 Recreational Vehicles.
I'll second.
One question for Annette. Do we get much request for this from citizens of Peosta
It's only coming from Thunder Ridge.
who's not part of Peosta?
Correct,
And
that's
I can
it.
see I hear Thunder Hills residents like, don't ever annex us, don't take away our golf.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know if
We
we
don't
had
wanna go.
other requests from the public to really
No,
consider
and
this.
nor have I had anybody reach out to me regarding the public hearing tonight or the first reading.
Well, in consideration of the safety things, I will vote yes. Aye. Right, aye.
Yeah, Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John,
Motion carries. I assume we're just gonna keep this open for second.
at least the second.
I think it's important to have a process here.
Absolutely. All right, so then moving on, ordinance amending the City of Peosta Code Ordinance Title 5, Public Works Chapter 53, Garbage Section Collection and Disposal. Thank you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy. Have we had any more feedback from the public after the first reading?
I've had a couple people approach me and it's just, it's the same comments that we had at the public hearing, that it just didn't seem fair that the feedback was given and the decision was made to move the time. But other than that, no. So this will be your second reading.
Any other thoughts from anyone before we take this to a vote for the second reading?
I'm in support of this because of the safety concerns about clearing out the areas before we get kid traffic and those kinds of things. So I stated that last one. I'll make a motion to approve the second reading of the ordinance amending the City of Peosta Code, Title 5, Public Works, Chapter 53, Garbage Section, Collection and Disposal.
I'll second.
Go ahead.
I'll second.
Brian, aye.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John,
Motion carries. I'll ask the council at this time if you would like to waive the third reading or keep it open for a third reading.
I'll make a motion to waive the third reading.
I'll second.
Brian, aye.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John,
Motion carries, and I'll need a motion to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Brian, aye.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John,
I do have to add that I will reach out to them so that we can amend the contract to reflect the start time.
Thank you.
You bet.
Make sure we give the residents plenty of.
Yeah, they communicated that they would put stickers on the top of the lids for both the recycle and the garbage totes, letting them know. So we'll do the regular newsletter, Facebook. We'll fly a drone over.
And we'll go door to door.
That's citywide communication, but I think it's also important that the areas that are impacted by the 6 AM, that we make sure that the vendor really tells them, you're
Right.
in an
You're
area,
first.
so
Right.
we intend to collect earlier.
That includes
Birds.
Birds and Thunder Ridge.
Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
so we need to make sure we.
Birds
Ridge.
Road, Thunder Ridge Estates, they are part of the collection.
Yeah. Oh,
And I thought that's what you had mentioned too, was.
Well, we talked about getting out of the school zones.
Right,
And
yes.
the school stops.
their early
Get them-
stuff's gonna be the
get them
school
out of here.
zone.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
And
I just wanna
then
make
you
sure
go back to
everything's-
normal
Yeah,
times.
just-
It's not like it's mostly gonna affect the folks over here and potentially up here.
We'll move on to E. Resolution adopting a revenue purpose statement for the purpose of imposition of a utility franchise fee for Alliant.
There are 3 separate one of these, and it's basically going by state code and what we can legally use the revenue. It's important to remember this isn't a tax. It's a franchise
Franchise
fee.
fee.
And the purpose behind this is to be able to finish Kelly Oaks like we were talking about earlier, the money constraints, along with using some of the money for roads. So we can get a couple more roads done for Dean.
So this vote is for us to approve the change or?
This is just to adopt the revenue purpose statement with
So
each
this-
one of
the
the
money.
utility
So this is
carriers.
just to say,
Purpose statement.
if we do this, this is what the money's
These
gonna
are
go
the
for.
things that it-
Okay, we're not doing it today.
No,
Yeah, we're already collecting those funds, so just
Yeah.
reiterating, this is what we're using them for.
and it identifies it with each utility, Alliant, Black Hills, and Macokota Valley.
And then we'll set public hearings for those.
Correct.
Three.
That's why you see a repeat of everything out there. We want it very
Good.
clear.
I was confused reading it.
Yeah.
The purpose statements are identical.
Yes,
Okay.
but it identifies each utility.
Yep. I don't know about you guys, but the number one thing I hear feedback from residents on is trails and parks and roads. And as constrained as we have been by the change in the public state tax law the last couple of years, there aren't a lot of options. Second statement that I would make is that moving from 1 to 3, we're not out of bounds with communities and things around us. In fact, we're still pretty conservative. So I'm sensitive to raising fees on residents and at the same time, helping them find an avenue to get done what they want to get done. And the fact that now we've got it, so all of the utilities would participate at the same rate, that's removed my concern that we were treating people in Peosta differently, so.
I get that. I completely get it. I'm still to this day I'm torn on it. I don't know what to think, what's right and what's wrong. However, I know it just seems like recently, say in the last 2 years, it seems like every time we turn around, we're raising rates. Just it's frustrating because I know the financial situation that we have, but also as a consumer, it's kind of like, get off me. So
And I put my statements out there for both my Alliant and my Black Hills, and it showed, what it is for 2 people living in. And so I'm not saying it's nothing, but it's literally pennies on the dollar. So if we look at, if we would have raised property taxes, it would have been a higher increase.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, that's kind of the way to look at it.
Yeah. And that's some of the feedback I've gotten from residents. And then we had a couple of emails and letters to the council. It's just that, it's a hidden tax, which it's not, it's a fee and it's not hidden. We're talking about it.
Correct.
We want feedback, but we did.
It's a fee,
use it for
it's a fee, it's
specific
not
purpose.
tax.
But the comment was, well, if you need to raise taxes raise taxes then and do that in a visible way. Well, that would actually, like you said,
Right.
cost pretty much everybody even more. And we don't.
And it would be the
necessarily-
same conversation we're having now. Why did you raise the taxes?
So okay, trails, parks, right? That's the thing that we're really kind of focused
And
on.
roads.
And roads.
Yes.
Anything.
So how much additional revenue will this be creating for us?
Oh, what did we?
It's also-
Talked
forget
about
it,
it in the work session.
I know we talked about it.
You weren't at the work session.
Well,
then,
About
but yeah.
180.
I think like the total was gonna be around this year it'll be a little bit iffy because we're not starting in July
Sure,
one.
sure.
But we were looking at, we budgeted about 165. It might be closer now that we've got Macoka Valley in there, around 190 to 200. Whereas in the past, it's been around 65.
So we're gonna raise $130,000 additional. With that being said, $130,000 additional, what's that gonna be able to specifically finish at the park? What's specific, what's that?
The parking lot.
Yeah, so we currently already have some money budgeted to set money aside to put it into, if you remember, Public Works for future roads, for future building and things like that, equipment, things that they need. We have some money set aside to take care of the fire station, like 10,000 a year. We're putting those monies into those reserves. It's a budgeted item, which is, within the scope of this. And then we have money in franchise fees now, and I should probably send you my spreadsheet that we talked about at the work session to show, where we can come up with money from loss, money from these franchise fees to be able to make the pavilion
A reality.
yeah.
Well, that's my concern.
And the trail.
That's my concern is that we sit up here and we say, we wanna use this for the park, for the pavilion, for the trails, and we do this. 3 years down the road, we don't do it. We're sitting in the same boat. We don't have a trail, we don't have a pavilion, we don't have anything, but we told everybody that's what we're gonna do. So I guess if we're gonna do this, and we wanna do this, and again, I said that torn, if we do this, we sure as hell better know that at the year end of 2 or 3, it's done.
Yep.
We're not just giving mouth service.
No, that's why we're wanting to set it out for.
The plan we talked about in the
Right.
work session would get the rest of Kelly Oaks development started this fall. Potentially to be open next summer, potentially with the trail to get to it. And in future years, we can do other trail and sidewalk and park development or road
Correct.
development. And, so to me, there's gonna be a perpetual need. These are, and you look at the community heart and soul results, it's like, this is a huge priority for people. So how do we help them
Get it.
accomplish it? How do we help them accomplish it? And it affects all of us. We're utility users. So,
And it is pretty broad. I mean, you're looking at, repair of existing buildings and properties and improvements, costs for right of way, which we don't have a lot now, but we do mow. We're now paying for mowing for that.
Yep.
Energy conservation for low income homeowners, which isn't something we're doing now, but have in the past. Public safety, equipping of fire, police, emergency services, sanitation, streets, establish, reconstruction, repair. I mean, there's the roads. I
Property
mean,
tax relief, I mean, there's even
There's- yeah.
possibility.
Construction,
And I get all
reconstruction
that.
of streets,
I
yeah,
get all
so-
that, but we're kind of hanging our hat on the trails, the parks, streets.
Sure.
it's a big piece of it.
And what I fear it's gonna happen is that we're gonna do this. In 3 years, we're gonna be in the same spot we are now, or real close to it. We're not gonna have a final destination with the parks and the trails.
Here's another challenge we have this particular year with the Kelly Oaks development. We have how much in grant funding from?
We have 200 left
ARPA.
for ARPA and 75,000
Yeah,
from
so
REIT that
we're
has to be
close to
spent.
300,000 in grants that have been awarded with a timeline.
Right.
And if we don't come up with a funding plan to finish the park, we will lose those. And as I've understood it, like, we won't even be able to reapply for some of those grants, like a future REAP grant for another park or
Whatever the
whatever.
REAP grant, you are not.
We awarded it to you, you
You're
didn't spend it,
blacklisted.
you lost it, and now you're off.
Yeah.
So like, we were feeling as Parks Committee and stuff, an urgency to make this happen in the next 6 to 12 months. And this is the only way we can do it.
And this amount, the 130, whatever additional money, will get us there.
It'll help
It-
get us
I
there.
was gonna say,
It's not the
Issue
whole.
at the work session, we may have to do an internal loan to ourselves or. But it gets us closer to a feasible financing plan to where we can choose as council to approve it.
And
And
also
make it happen
additional
without it.
funds from loss and some other resources that we looked at as well. And I can send you my spreadsheet and go over it,
I
like
think
what we
that would
talked
be
about.
helpful.
Cause it kind of says, hey, we're pulling this much from here, this much from here to get to the goal of the trail, the parking lot and the pavilion. So I don't think we'll need to take out a loan, but it all kind of depends on timeline. I mean, the trail and the parking lot may not happen until next.
Right.
Um,
I worry with Justin too, because Lost has been on the chopping block at this in-state discussions in the last 2 legislative cycles. So we have a window where we know we have it. And I don't know, it's
Whatever we
I feel
do,
like our
we're
window's
not
gonna
use the
close on
funds
us
we
multiple
have.
Get it from taxes to Des Moines. I mean, they're
so it's not
taking your
only the
sales tax.
franchisees, there's some lost and some.
Right,
other
I mean,
funds.
again,
To get back up.
that's, I
It
mean,
was multiple funds, yeah.
right, that's my fear is that we do this.
Hotel motel was one of them. I think
Right.
that was around 80.
and then we're sitting here 2 years.
Yeah, I believe we've got a plan in place now to finish. So that's,
There's a
yeah.
definite plan.
And I apologize for not.
No,
being at that
you're
meeting.
fine.
I'll forward that out to you, and if you have
We-
questions, let me
We
know.
have to have the, you know, the courage of conviction to finish this, you know?
Fine.
We do it, be honorable, you know, with our purposes.
This is just a statement anyway.
And this is just approving the statements, right?
It
Let's
is.
go. Let's-
Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor.
Yes, we did. No,
I don't think so.
but I will make a motion
Thank
to
you.
approve resolution adopting revenue purpose statements for the purpose of utility franchise fees for line.
I'll second. Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John, I.
Motion carries. Next up, resolution adopting a revenue purpose statement for the purpose of imposition of a utility franchise fee for Black Hills Energy.
Rinse and repeat.
I'll make the motion. Can we just say ditto or no? I'll make the motion for, to approve the resolution adopting revenue purpose statement for the purpose of imposition of utility franchise fee, Black Hills Energy.
I'll second.
Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John, I.
Motion carries. Next up, resolution setting a public hearing? No.
No.
Resolution adopting revenue I knew I skipped one. I got it before you all did. Come on. Resolution adopting a revenue purpose statement for the purpose of imposition of a utility franchise fee from Macocata Valley Electric Cooperative.
Make a motion for resolution adopting a revenue purpose statement for the purpose of imposition of a utility franchise fee of Macocata Valley Electric Corp.
I'll second.
Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John, I.
Motion carries. Next up, a resolution setting a public hearing to amend franchise fee on gas and electric utilities from 1% to 3% for Alliant
I'll make the motion.
for July 22nd.
Yeah, for July 20. I'll make a motion for the resolution to set a public hearing to amend franchise fee on gas and electric utilities from 1% to 3% for Alliant, set public hearing for July 22.
I'll second.
Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John, I.
Motion carries. Next up, resolution setting a public hearing to amend franchise fee on gas and electric utilities from 1% to 3%, Black Hills Energy.
I'll make a motion to set the public hearing to amend franchise fees for gas and electric. What are we at?
Yeah.
Gas and electric.
You lost.
We are at I.
Macocata Valley.
We're at Black Hills.
We're at Black Hills.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're
We're at
sorry.
Black Hills.
I was ahead of you.
Electric, so kind of
Got it. Noted.
I can second.
electric utilities.
What Justin said? Okay.
I'm like, what?
So this is the Black Hills Energy.
Yes.
Yes.
Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John, I.
Motion carries. Next up, resolution setting a public hearing to amend franchise fee on gas and electric utilities from 1% to 3%, Macocata Valley Electric Cooperative
This is number J.
for July 22nd.
I'll make a motion, set the public hearing to amend franchise fee on gas and electric utilities from 1% to 3% for Macocata Valley Electric Cooperative for July 22.
I'll second.
Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John, I.
Motion carries. Next up, resolution setting a public hearing to amend the zoning code of ordinance, section 4 regulations for all districts wireless communication facilities.
We had a conversation about this during the work session. This is bringing it just back to you, setting the public hearing to only allow wireless communication in our M1 and our M2, which is our manufacturing districts, zoning districts.
And in our work session, John, we talked about the ag land too. And we said we didn't really want that in there because a lot of that's gonna become residential and other stuff. So we just reverted it to just industrial areas.
Perfect, thank you.
And this did go through planning and zoning as well.
So this is their recommendation.
Mhm.
Are we ready for a motion, Mr. Mayor?
I'm ready.
I'll make a motion for the resolution to set a public hearing to amend zoning code of ordinance, section 4, regulations for all districts wireless communication facilities, and set the public hearing for July 22.
I'll second.
Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John, I.
Motion carries. Resolution setting a public hearing to amend the zoning code of ordinance, section 4, regulate, did I just do that one?
Nope.
Okay.
No,
Regulation for all, I am lost.
L,
this is land
Okay,
usage now,
resolution
right?
setting a public hearing to amend title 15 land usage, chapter 150 sign permit.
this was another one that we discussed at our work session that ties in nicely that before the business gets their certificate of occupancy, that they have to have a sign or signage plan approved, and that has to be put up within 180 days, which is the length of the validation of the permit.
Good, 6 months. I'll make a motion, set a public hearing to amend Title 15 Land Usage, Chapter 150 related to sign permits for land use, subject public hearing for July 22.
I'll second.
Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John, I.
Motion carries. Resolution setting a public hearing to amend Title 7 Traffic Code, Chapter 71 Parking Regulations for July 22nd.
Mike, you want to take that one?
Yeah, this is just for regulating set vehicles, box trucks, semis in residential areas. We're having an issue with that, so making an amendment to the ordinance, we're just gonna change it to prevent that from happening.
I do have a question about that. Reading that, it said anything above 10,000 GVW.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about it a little bit before, is that would include, so you couldn't have a 15-foot U-Haul truck parked in front of your house while moving.
So with that regulation, I don't know if you read it, what we put in there. So there's
Exemptions.
different things you can do in that. So you can have, like, say a box truck comes and delivers Lowe's or a moving truck. Yes, that's in there, that you can be there for, was it 30 minutes or an hour? That was.
I believe it was an hour.
An hour, okay. Yep. And then if somebody needs to be parked there, like I said, we're not out to get everybody to, you gotta move your van. It's for long-term use, more or less, is what we're looking at. So like box trucks parked on the street long-term, that's what we're looking at.
Right, I just saw the
If people need to go, like,
Move in.
move in or move out,
Right.
we're gonna be very.
Okay, I just saw the 10,000 GVW.
Yeah,
No, that's
no,
not big.
that's, yeah.
And we're gonna see those people moving in and out because they're gonna call us to get their water
Yeah.
turned
I
on.
just
There's
don't
more or
want
less long-term.
Right, I just don't want anybody getting,
Long-term.
This just allows for somebody who's just got their box truck sitting out in the street,
right.
and that's where it stays.
Correct.
Definitely want people to have a good experience moving into Peosta. You guys will accommodate them.
We will.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to set the public hearing amending Title 7 Traffic Code, Chapter 71 Parking Regulations.
I'll second.
Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John, I.
Motion carries. Next up, resolution. Yeah, I think that's it for the public hearings.
Oh,
One more.
Resolution amending fees, removing dog licenses.
Since we removed the dog licensing requirements, we need to remove it from the fee schedule. So this is just a resolution removing that.
and this literally just updates that fee schedule.
It does, yep.
Scratches it out.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution amending fees removing dog licenses.
I'll second.
Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John, I.
Motion carries. Next up, resolution approving rezone and final plat review called 8686 New Mellery Road. This is a recommendation from planning and zoning.
It is, and this is just a complimentary cursory review of the replat and the rezone because it's within that 2-mile parameter.
I have no concerns with this.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution rezoning final plat review called 8686 New Mallory Road.
I'll second. Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John, I.
Motion carries. At this time, I'm going to open up for citizen comment. If anyone would like to address the council, we will be going into closed session and everyone will need to leave. If anyone wanted to address the council at this time.
Hi, guys. Thank you.
All right, anybody online, Marcy?
No.
All right, thank you, everybody.
See you guys tomorrow.
See you.
Motion to go into closed
So we will need a motion. You can go into closed session.
Make a motion.
You want to shut the door behind you guys?
Yes, please.
Lock.
I'll make a motion to
Don't
go into
lock it.
closed session to discuss litigation strategy in accordance with chapter 21.51C of State of Iowa Code.
I'll second.
Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John, I.
Let me get.
All right, told Doug 2 minutes. He hasn't read it yet. to chime in. So if you want to go get a bottle of water, use the restroom.
Yeah,